Mr. Chairman, honourable ladies and gentlemen, in this, my maiden speech to this society, I would like to take a slightly different approach to the question before us today. That question, is eating meat morally defensible, is a good question, and I thank my honourable friend Mr. Morris for its introduction. However, the answer that one draws from same question is totally dependent upon one's preconceived notions regarding certain base topics. For example, are animals morally equal to humans? I regard all life as morally equal. However, many people, like my honourable friend Mr. Knight, at the opposite side of the chamber, see beings incapable of higher thought, as he perhaps correctly assumes that animals are, to be morally inferior. Further questions, which one must pass judgment on, and upon which I shall not dwell because it would take far too long, is can governments outlaw unhealthy actions? Are meat eaters morally culpable for the actions of those that generate the meat? And is there really any humane way to harvest the flesh of living beings by killing them, such as free range? And if so, should we care for being humane in this way? These questions it would take far too long to answer from my own mind, and I predict that it is the disagreement over these, rather than the question itself, that will exacerbate debate today. In my personal view, to kill is always morally wrong, and to do so knowingly, and that we may eat of a living thing's body, is even worse. However, my true opinion transcends the moral argument. Moral codes are always rife with exceptions, and therefore I argue that they are always inadequate at offering providing a framework that's workable in reality and can actually be followed. Thus, I believe that morality is really besides the point when it comes to eating meat, because the pragmatic fact is that meat will always be eaten. Would we censure a lioness for hunting her prey? No, for it is the law of nature. And life, it cannot exist without death, just as good cannot exist without evil. Happiness is entirely built upon suffering, and evolutionarily it can be no other way. I'd like to bring up an example is, how many of the honourable members in the House wash their hands? Is that... Yeah, it's a lot of them. What is it? Who doesn't? Who doesn't wash their hands? Can we just see? Show of hands on the opposite side of the chamber. Well, does it not say on soap kills 99% of germs? So why is the mass murder of living germs to satisfy our own health? Why is that morally excusable, yet the mass murder of cattle to feed ourselves is not? Is not. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Mr. Chairman? Mr. Chairman? Can you
I'm going to keep my brief.
Well, I haven't finished. No, very nearly, just a sentence. As I said earlier, I regard all life as morally equal, Mr. Chairman, and that I do. Is a field of living crops really to be seen as morally inferior to a flock of living cattle? I argue that no, and therefore if you eat a potato or you eat a steak, both of these are morally wrong, but neither would I oppose. Mr. Morris.